Hello everybody. Hi, aloha, guten Abend, hello and welcome to today's live stream. This live stream is for week 4 of Aloha25May, which is my weekly challenge over on Instagram and here on YouTube. This month we have a particular color, which is indigo. So every prompt is around the color indigo, and this week's prompt is blueberries and blackberries, I think. I have to admit I kind of focused on blueberries only. Also today, my mom's here. For all of you who didn't know, I am spending this month of May in Germany with my family, staying at my mom's house. This is actually the last week I'm here, and next week we're going back to Hawaii. Mom's coming with me, so it's very exciting. But today we're going to do a watercolor collage. I have prepared 3 examples for you. So all blueberries. It's a very simple technique. This is also something that you could consider doing with your kids. It's basically painting a sheet of watercolor paper, very abstract background, and then just, with a bunch of scissors, cutting simple shapes and putting them on some greeting cards or whatever type of paper you have. All right, let me turn the camera around so we can get started, and I'll talk about the supplies. All right, let's see. Mom's waving. Okay, I also put up my iPad so I can see the chat. Here we go. Okay. So as you can see, I am working on a cutting mat today because, I was figuring scissors and glue. So that truly is prone to be a bit messy. So just wanted to make sure that I am, I apologize. This is a really old phone stand that I have here at my mom's.
Ich hole meine Dictionary.
Wo ist dein Dictionary?
Ja.
Na gut. Bis gleich. Okay. All right. So let me take a quick look at the chat. Servus, Moni. Hi, Tracy. Ah, how lovely. Yeah, I didn't figure that a lot of people would participate from the US today because it's a federal holiday today in America. So, I figured a lot of people are probably going to be out and about. Okay, let me first start with this one. So this was a collage I did with Steffi and Tanya last week in our Instagram live stream. Tanya, Miss Nice Day, and Steffi, Fräulein Teffi. So I think this is probably the easiest, simplest technique you can do with collage. Basically what you do is you paint your background paper and you... sorry. You paint a background paper and you just do kind of like straight on strips and put them together in a wave shape, or this works for mountains too beautifully. And then a little bit more difficult part is to cut out the boat or something that has like more precise lines. But this was last week, so just as a little inspiration for you what else you could do. But because this week's prompt is berries, and in particular blueberries and blackberries, because they just go well with the color indigo, I figured we're gonna do these. So you guys tell me, which color do you like best for the background? The black one, this is yellow, this is cream white. So
Hips.
very pretty, huh? Yeah.
Pretty.
They're all pretty. I think this has a more contrast naturally because it's on black.
Pretty too.
I like the size of this one. I like how petite this one is, but not too fond of the color for some reason. I also really like this one. Look at these cool corners. So this technique works on anything and everything. I mean, you can basically also, you can just do this in your sketchbook if you like as well. As for paper, so the collage paper I'm using is a 200 GSM paper. You can also use something thinner if you have 180 GSM. That's
Very heavy, ne?
It's actually not that heavy because this is a mixed media paper. So the regular watercolor paper is about 300 GSM, so it's heavier. But because you want to cut, you want the paper to be not too heavy. And honestly, this is actually a very good high quality paper. It's not necessary for you to use high quality paper like that. You might not get away using copy paper or printer paper because that's just too thin.
Sehr stabil.
Ja, schon stabil, aber gibt's noch stabiler?
Ach so. Wie sagt man stabil heißt Englisch?
Very sturdy paper. Sturdy. S-T-U-R-D-Y. Sturdy. Or heavy. You can say heavy paper.
Heavy paper.
Solid.
Solid.
Solid. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a better word. I'm using a flat brush today. You can also use a large round brush. Basically, we're just going to cover the whole paper with water and then drop in some paints. I'm using Aloha watercolors, my own handmade watercolors. The main star is indigo. This is a dark indigo with shimmer. Because this is such a dark color, it's basically what you can see here. I decided to add some Prussian blue as well. Just so, you know, we have a little more blue in the whole thing. And then I have a phtalo green and a chromium oxide green. So in Aloha watercolors, those are Monstera. For the chromium oxide green, it's jungle. For the phtalo green, I'm using Ualoku, which is a indigo with shimmer. You can also use Kohola. And this is Moana, Prussian blue. But as always, just feel free to use whatever you have at hand, any brand. You can also use acrylic inks, or you can use gouache, poster paint. It really doesn't matter. Okay, I'm wetting my whole paper with the flat brush. Just make sure it's all covered in water. Again, it really doesn't matter what brush you use. However, because I'm in a relatively dry climate, I want to make sure I work pretty quickly, covering the background with water. And then I'm just going to start dropping in some paint. Now, if you want to have an outcome that is more subtle.
Beautiful blue.
You like that?
Yes, I like it.
This is called Prussian blue. It was invented in Germany about 200 years ago in Berlin.
For 200 years ago?
Yeah.
すごい.
It was also called Berlin blue for a long time. There was also a Paris blue, so I'm not sure.
Wonderful blue.
You know, with these inventions, a lot of the time there are more than two people inventing kind of like a similar thing at the same time, and then they try to give it a name, and then you have several names circulating at the same time. Interesting. Yeah, because all pigments used to be natural hundreds of years ago. But then when the chemical industry became really big in countries like France and Germany and in England, then everything changed because all of a sudden it was possible to create pigments in the factory. So
So,
no more grinding rocks and stones.
no more grinding.
No more using rocks or stones for pigments, but you make the pigment in the factory. Much easier. Very cheap too.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
cheaper.
Very cheap, yes. And high quality and very light fast. So so many advantages.
Thank God.
Thank yeah, that too.
Lots are done.
Okay, I'm gonna just take a quick look at the chat. Hello, Dougie. Hi, Sharon. Oh, lovely to see you, Sharon. Hi, Keiko. It's been a while for me. Good to see you. Yeah. She's the mom of Amy.
So.
And then Tracy, Moni, Dougie, Irene. Servus, Irene. Hi, Megan.
Hello, everybody. Thank you to
We
watch.
have a very intimate little group today because I mentioned earlier it's a federal holiday in the United States today. So I have to admit I didn't think of that because, you know, I'm in Germany now, so it's not a holiday here. It's just kind of like a regular Monday. Also, one of my best friend's birthday today. Michelle has her birthday today. So for me, you know, guys, it's kind of it's kind of like for me, it's like okay, it's Michelle's birthday, and then everything else kind of went into the background, I guess.
Beautiful green. Beautiful.
Which one do you like better? This one?
Yeah, this one.
So another great example for an artificially made green in the factory. The phthalo green was one of the most successful inventions in the 19th century.
19th
Because
century.
green is very hard to produce in nature. You'd think that green would be easy to make out in nature because everything is green. But as soon as you try to extract green from a plant, it pretty much turns brown. So to have green, you either need green rocks, like malachite, for example, or or you need to make them in the factory artificially. Other than that, green is very difficult to find out in the nature and to preserve it. I mean, there are some plant dyes you can make that will be green, but then again, they're not light fast. They will fade. All right, so we have to wait for this to dry. Okay. Oh, there's more happening in the chat. Wonderful. Hola. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mishi. Happy birthday to you. And many more. That's so fun. I didn't know she would be in the chat. Yay.
Yay.
Oh, and she's going all geology major on me. Oi. Alles Gute zum Geburtstag. Oh, Jenka ist auch da.
Jenka.
Oh.
Hallo, liebe Jenka. Wie geht's dir?
Oh. So I did forget something. I forgot to prepare the cards. I'm going to put the you know, the collage on. So I'm just gonna go grab a card. I think I'm gonna I think I'm gonna go with this one. I really like this, especially the nice edges. Where did I put them, though? Okay, you guys. I am very organized. Not.
Yes, it's so nice of you.
It would be nice if I were, but I'm not organized.
Good Vorbereitung.
Nee, ja, ich war ganz toll vorbereitet, bis auf das natürlich, gell? So.
何探してるの？
カード。
カード。
ーパーのカードをね。
ペーパーのカー
はがき。
ド、はがき。
Alright.
So, der von den.
Ja, ich mache jetzt einfach was anderes.
Gut.
Okay, so even though I was going to use this one, I honestly have no idea where I put them. This is just too much organization, right? So I'm just gonna use some black paper because honestly, isn't this gorgeous too? The contrast is so nice.
Yes.
Hi,
So
Sylvie.
nice. Sylvie ist wieder da.
Ja, Sylvie ist auch da. All right, this might not be the best paper for a card because it really is kind of thin. This is only 120 GSM. It's a Clairefontaine carbon paper. It's a very good quality paper. However, I would recommend that you use a bit, you know, like thicker paper. But it'll work for this one. And you know, I kind of feel if you maybe add something in the card, like another piece of paper, you could, for example, add just a white piece of paper to write on, then, you know, the whole construction is going to be a bit more sturdy.
This is so backbone is black color is very exciting.
It's very exciting, isn't
I
it?
like it.
I like it too because
Yeah.
of the contrast. It
Yeah,
really,
good contrast.
very good contrast. It makes
Interesting contrast.
the berries and the leaves pop. Also wanted to mention, you can do any kind of fruit shapes really easily with this technique. So, you know, you don't have to do berries. You can do even like oranges, for example, just large round shapes. Very easy to handle. Okay. So let's see how we are getting on in terms of dryness. I think you have a phone call. Ich glaube, dein Telefon ist dann, wo jemand ruft gerade an und spricht auf dem Anrufbeantworter.
Echt?
Ja, kannst du mal gucken, ich höre was. Okay, so I'm cheating a little bit. I'm skipping forward. If you like, you can, of course, take a pencil and draw your pattern or your design. I think the most important part is to make up your mind about how big you want your berries to be, because honestly, the size of these berries, it looks like a tomato to me almost, you know, because they're so big. It's like blue cherry tomatoes. So if you think blueberries, you want to make sure they're small enough. So for this size card, I want to do them a little smaller than in the original. So maybe like this size. Now I want to turn over my paper so that my pencil marks won't show on the front side. And I'm just gonna do a whole bunch of circles. Make sure you don't make them all the same size. You know, you should just vary the size a little bit. And then because I do love the shimmer, but I also want to have some berries that are more blue from the Prussian blue part. Okay, so very good. And I usually start with just cutting out the whole general area, so to speak, of these before I go into the detail. All right, I'm gonna shut the door, you guys, because the answering machine is so loud. All right. love these scissors. Aren't these just so gorgeous? I never take these to Hawaii because they would just rust in no time. Seriously, just 2 weeks and they would be rusty. So they stay here. They're my precious Germany scissors. All right. Now I'm switching to my nail scissors and just going round and around. And honestly, you don't even have to draw in those circles. You can just cut out some random circle shapes. But that's just me talking. I don't mind if it's wonky, if it's not a perfect circle. So if you're more diligent, then of course you can take your time with this step. Or you can even use a paper punch if you have one in this particular size. But I think for me, the beauty of collage is really to just set yourself free from all these expectations of things turning out perfectly. Because we are doing just a very abstract background and then creating something from that. So it's very hard to control the outcome anyways. Because you know your background will behave in whatever way it wants to. You never quite know where this collage is going to lead you. I mean, you can have a general idea, and I'm going to give you a few tips on layout, you know, how to arrange things on the card so that it looks harmonious. But in the end, I think this is such a great exercise about just letting go and creating abstract backgrounds. Exercise means Übung.
Ah, exercise.
Das ist so eine gute Übung, um sich ein bisschen locker zu machen und nicht so darauf zu achten, was am Ende rauskommt, sondern einfach so einen abstrakten Hintergrund zu malen, was auszuschneiden, hinzukleben.
Das ist aber ganz süße Dings da.
Dings da?
Steht.
Aha, ja, die Dings da, gell?
Dings da. Very, very cute.
So for all of you English speakers, a very good word to learn in German is Dings or Dingsta, which basically means that thing.
Dings.
Or if you're familiar with the way we talk in Hawaii, would be the kind. Give me the kind when you don't know what the word is.
Give me the kind.
You know the kind.
Ah,
So.
sure.
Okay, now we have a bunch of circles. I'm not going to start putting these on yet. So I will start with the stem and the leaves. These are going to be in the background. And then the berries are going to be last. The only reason I'm putting them on my card now is to see if I have enough. And if I also have enough variety and size.
Strawberry, blueberry, berry.
Very, yeah, very
German.
merry.
Beeren.
Yeah, beeren.
English.
Berry.
Berry. All.
Yeah, it's nice because it goes with so many puns too.
Berry.
So I cut out one bigger one. It's gonna be my, my signature tomato there. Because I need to do a little tomato thing on my card, I think. Okay, let me look at the chat. Servus, Rosi. Hello. Okay, let's see. This paper is still a bit damp, so I never advise to work with damp paper, that's not really dried yet. I guess I could go and use a little hairdryer action on this one. Just to make sure I'm not ripping the paper. All right, so be right back. Just put this under the hairdryer for half a minute. There we go.
Halbe Minute.
Ja, und hattest du einen Anruf?
Ja, das war der Beantworter
Ach so.
von Walter gewesen.
Ah, okay.
Er hofft total, dass ich nicht mehr gehen soll. Also, und er wollte mir mitteilen, was alles heute englische Kurs gegeben hat. Also wirklich,
Okay, paper is dry. So Mom and I just had a little chat on the side because she would like to, she attends English class every week. It's very early in the morning. So after returning from Hawaii, she is thinking about changing classes. And her classmates are not happy because they just love her in that class. All right, so paper is dry. Again, I'm gonna flip it over so I don't see my pencil marks. Again, honestly, if you don't mind having pencil marks on your collage, just don't worry, just go straight and onto your paper and draw your, your design on that paper.
You used for sleeves.
Yes, for the leaves and for the stem.
Yes.
And then, yeah,
yeah.
So different sizes. And again, I honestly didn't even start with a pencil sketch for the leaves. I kind of just used this curved shape of my nail scissors and cut out like pointy ellipses. But again, whatever is most comfortable for you is what you should do in a collage. And if you want to just draw everything in pencil first, please feel free to do that. Okay, as for the layout, I think my most favorite layout is this one because it has a diagonal over here at the top and another line coming in from the bottom, kind of meeting this one. So they meet here. Nice. And it's also because you have two different subjects on your page, it's almost like they're talking to each other. So it's a very rounded design, I'd say, because you also have like this elliptic circle going on in here. So for me, this looks
harmony.
Is it good harmony?
Okay. Very good harmony.
Whereas this one, for example, this is a bit too simple for me in the sense that the only thing it has going for itself is that diagonal here. So it's splitting the paper into two halves, but it's almost 50-50, which for me personally, it does work, but it's not very interesting per se. Yes. I find this is more interesting. I want to stay in this one longer than in this one here. And then I like this a little better just because the stem has a curve that goes up from the left bottom to the right top. So I don't know if you know this, but in logo design and in commercial design, for example, when you start a line at the top left bottom and it goes to the right top, it's always a good sign. It's like optimism. It's like starting and then going somewhere. You're going to go places. So that's why a lot of logos have this motion. But I personally prefer curved lines and designs, anything that's a circle or an elliptic design. And that's why I prefer this curved line as opposed to just a straight line. So I'm going to try and do something similar to what I did here. So we're going to do two plants. So one comes up from the bottom, like this one.
I like this and this.
Me too.
Both. I
Yeah.
like very much.
I'm glad.
Both.
Because we're going to make something that is this one and this one combined. All right. And then for the other one, going to place that up here. And the good thing about the first stages of collage is that you can move around your design for quite a while before you glue it down. So you can just really... Oh, Mom's handing me the glue already. So it's like, stop talking, just start gluing. So funny.
Am I good assistant?
Yeah, very good assistant. I'm just not ready yet. Ich bin noch nicht so weit.
Sorry, very
まだ
sorry.
まだですね。
ちょっと急ぎすぎたか。
Okay, Jenkins says, while seeing your leftovers, I just thought about cutting them out and use the negative. Yeah, absolutely, right? This looks so good. Also as a Schablone, as a template for like a jelly roll, a jelly print, mono print type of thing. This could be really cool.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. Oh, Jenka hat gerade gesagt, jeder braucht eine Taki in ihrem Leben, in seinem Leben. Everybody needs a Taki in their life. That's a very nice compliment.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
Oh.
happy day. Thank you very much.
It is, isn't it? So we have to say though that these guys met in person already. So we do know Jenka in person.
Everybody needs you, Yanka.
Almost. Jenka.
Yanka too.
Mm-hmm.
Yanka is super.
Yeah, some good loyal vibes.
Yeah,
That's what we need.
Feeling. Vibes.
Yeah, we don't need many friends. We just need a few really good friends, I think.
Yes. She is so free. Your soul is so free.
All right, as you can see, I'm actually not even finishing my cut. I'm just kind of ripping the page off.
Hoppala.
So hoppala. So that I can just easily continue to cut. And honestly, guys, these nail scissors are super duper for these types of
super small.
Yeah, collage, because they're naturally curved, which is just following the lines of your leaves.
Okay.
And then with the little itty bitty leftovers, you can just go ahead and cut out some little itty bitty leaves and just put them somewhere. Okay. If you like, you don't have to cut your design. You can do something like, like a mix of ripping and cutting, which is something that I really love too. Depending on which side you start ripping, you'll see the edges of your rip line. So if you see, it's just on one side. So depending on where you want this line to show, you can cut or rip in a different way. So I hope this makes sense. So it really depends on which side you start your rip. If you want to see the line, the white rip line, or if you want it to be hidden. So it totally changes the whole design. So it really depends on if you want a clear cut line or if you want something that's a bit more adventurous. I think that leaves really are easy enough to rip the paper with, or for, I should say. There are, of course, some shapes like the stems that are a bit more tricky if you want to rip them.
Very nice idea. White and green, so Very
Yeah,
nice
but
idea.
you know, you can see the difference. I mean, it truly looks very different. So what do you guys like better? What do
very
you
nice.
prefer?
I like it.
Let me know. I personally, I started with the ripped edges, and then I did go back to the cut lines just because I had started cutting my berries. I tried to do the round shape with the berries, and that turned out to be, I don't know, for me that was kind of tricky in this size. So I think if you maybe do a larger size, so if you, for example, did some large oranges, totally different story. Would be probably very easy to do. Well, it's actually not too bad. That works. Okay, I'll take it back. It's not impossible.
Diesen Blueberry, das ich noch Kühlschrank habe.
Ja, du hast noch welche im Kühlschrank. Die sollten wir auch essen.
I love it. I love this blueberry
Yes,
very much.
we should definitely. Mom just said, are these the kind of berries we still have in the fridge? And I said, yes, indeed. And we should eat them fast because, you know, that would be very sad if they went bad. It's extremely difficult to get your hands on really good fresh berries in Hawaii. So now that I'm here in Germany and it is actually strawberry season already, I am in heaven.
Strawberry.
In heaven. We got a bunch of strawberries today, and the whole car smelled like strawberries. So good.
So good.
Yeah.
Taste.
Really exceptional.
Dreamy,
It's like you have your favorite food and you forget about it because you just don't get your hands on it, and then the first time you eat it again, it's just so wonderful.
Yummy.
Yeah. Also, with all papers, you guys, every paper has fibers, paper fibers. They all lie in the same direction. So it will be easier for you to rip the paper in one certain direction. And it's going to be more tricky to rip against the grain. Just, you know, if you have trouble, try the other direction.
Zack.
Zack, boom, boom, zack, zack, zack. Okay. So as you can see, I'm making a very mixed design with some straight edges and some wonky edges. I'm gonna try and combine all of them just so we create a little bit of a different feel for this piece today. All right, Yenka loves the ripped ones. Yeah, exactly, right? So she also points out that it's probably a better idea to go with either all clear edges, clean edges, straight edges, or like a ripped version. But I'm gonna do it totally different today. So I'm gonna just mix it all up. Okay, so for a minute, I'm gonna remove the leaves again. And I'm gonna focus on creating my first piece here at the bottom. So we're gonna move the berries too. I wanna just first lay down the stem in a position that I like. So if you divide your paper into 3 parts, 1, 2, 3, so 1, 2, 3 with 2 lines, you wanna put the stem on one of those thirds.
3 parts.
The 3-part line. And I love that curve here as well. So make sure you have a few leaves left and right. They can, of course, also overlap. I also usually prefer to have them come off the stem. Oh, there's a word for that in English and I can't recall it. So
It's
not
good. It's so good.
It's good, right? Yes.
I like it.
But what I was saying was not coming off of the stem at the same point. So it's kind of like further down and then a little further up for the next one. That's such a nice word. like alterating, but more botanical. Yeah, this is, as I said in the beginning, very good to do with kids as well. Except for the glue part, maybe. Because if they're like me, then the glue gets everywhere. Okay, so I think I'm liking this. I'm going to start gluing now. If you are unsure about your design, you know, you can really lay everything out. Like literally lay everything out. Like, you know, here, imagine this wasn't glued. And then just carefully start at the bottom and then just start gluing every single piece, but just moving it a little bit. But for me, because I've done it a few times, I kind of feel okay with starting on one side and starting to glue, so just so that the whole design doesn't fall around.
Good.
Like when you breathe on your paper, you know, your whole design is all scrambled up again. So it feels good to just start gluing down some part of your design. I'm really excited to see how it turns out.
Good.
With, you know, the mixed designs, straight lines, ripped lines. Make sure you also glue a little bit on top of your stem. So feel free to even have some leaves come off the stem completely, you know, just like in the middle of your card somewhere. Kind of like they're flowing away from your plant. I think it also adds a little bit of dynamic to your piece to have some of these loose leaves flying through the air. All right, I forgot to mention one little supply we're gonna use, which is a colored pencil. I have this one here by Faber-Castell. It's an Albrecht Dürer water-soluble colored pencil in dark indigo, indigo dunkel.
Dark indigo.
You can use a fine liner for this part. You can also use watercolor, of course, in a fine brush. And I'm just gonna zoom in and draw a little oval. And then, you know what this reminds me of is like when a drop of water falls into the water. And then the shape of the splash is what this looks like. Or this could be a crown to this part here. So this is kind of detailed. If you want a less detailed version, you can also just do kind of like a star shape like this. Totally sufficient. I think this still reads as a blueberry as long as it's small enough. As I told you with the other card, if your blueberries become really big, then it kind of reads tomato. So
Wenn das rot wäre, dann
Tomate.
kleine Tomate,
Ja.
dachte ich.
Mhm. Yep, dachte ich auch. Okay.
So
I'm gonna zoom out again a little bit. I think I'm kind of liking
Aufregend.
this distance here. And I'm going to start with my big one, placing a few berries all along here. And I do like to cover the end of my stem. So it's going to be either a leaf going off of the end. See, this is how it starts. You get glue on your fingers, and then you're going to be, you're going to have things stuck to you. It's kind of big, that thing, isn't it? I think it's too big. I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Okay.
It's very big fun to entwickeln.
To develop
immer
the design.
besser und schöner, realistischer wird.
Mhm.
Also
Ja, oder es geht
entwickelt.
halt voll in die Hose, ne? Das kann auch passieren.
Nö.
So my mom just said it's so nice to watch this design develop and how it grows and gets more beautiful. And then I said, well, it could
Yeah, this
also just all totally
process.
go down the drain and, you know, not work
This
out at
is
all.
shown. They are also very excited in process.
Process?
Process.
Mhm.
The Aufregung.
Mhm.
The good
Excitement.
Aufregung. ワクワクね。ワクワク。
Oh, hi, hi. All right.
びっくりしてワクワクってなんか
Okay, so this is not enough for my plant down here yet. However, before I fill this part in, I'm going to hop over to the top design here. I'm going to make this a little slimmer. Just so that it's a bit more even with the plant, or similar to the plant down there. Okay, coming in from the side like this. Maybe more at an angle. Yeah. Don't worry about cutting the edge perfectly now. You know, I kind of recommend you glue it down first and then you trim the edge off at the very end once your card is done. It's much easier to try than to try and get it right from the start.
Shane, there's a curve, good curve. Curve, これいい感じ、いい good feeling.
そうですね。
Very good.
All right, so let's lay out some leaves. How about this one here? One here. Sticky fingers. And I have a few more. Again, I'm trying to make him alternate.
Sticky finger has klebrige finger.
Genau, klebrige Finger. And don't be afraid to work with white space.
Sticky finger.
In this case, it's of course the black space, but I'm talking about leaving areas just without any design so that your composition can breathe. So you don't want to put everything, you know, all the leaves to every part that's still available. I think this only goes for if you want to create a pattern, for example, like a fabric design pattern. You want to make sure that, you know, all the areas are covered. But, you know, honestly, I think in modern pattern design, there's also a lot of patterns these days where you have a lot of white space. Okay, so you just saw me
Space.
cut one of the leaves in two, and it just kind of comes in from the side, which, you know, gives the feeling that the design continues on that side. I think I'm already liking this. I don't want to crowd it too much. So maybe just those 3 leaves at the tops will be enough. Let's glue them down and have a look.
Yes.
I've never tried to use a different type of glue, but I imagine you could, of course, use some, you know, glue that's liquid, but I think the mess would be even bigger, wouldn't it? So for me, glue stick works really well.
Biggest.
Bigger, biggest? Okay, I think I do need another leaf here at the end of my plant. That's too big. Or is it? Yeah, I think it's too big. I don't want it to look the same like this one, so I'm gonna make it a bit smaller.
Yes.
Yeah, is that good? Okay. Yeah, my mom's a really good judge of design too. She used to be a calligrapher, so proportion and design, it's all her too. Okay, here we go. So
It's beautiful.
I've glued everything down. Okay, so now all that's missing are a few more berries. Okay, let's just throw some berries around here. Also depends on if you maybe prefer uneven numbers or even numbers. So I think with plants or flowers, what you usually have is, I think, uneven numbers, isn't it? Like 5 roses or 5 petals or leaves. I'm not really sure about that, but I do also like uneven numbers myself when it comes to design. But honestly, don't worry about it. I mean, just look at your design and then you'll figure it out. So for my part, I do love the 4 berries up here. You can see me kind of trying to cover some of the parts where the leaf would touch the stem. So I kind of like to put the berry on top. I think it gives it more of a 3-dimensional feel. And this way also, you know, if you really do not like the way this connection looks, you can kind of remedy that by just placing a berry on top. Even though I don't think it needs it here. This is pretty. If you really don't know, you can also just seriously just randomly throw on some berries onto your paper and see where they land.
I think here bigger one is very nice.
Thank you.
Yes, point. So hot point.
Hot point. That's the hot point. It's the hot berry.
High point.
The high point. Hot point. I like hot point.
Hot point. Okay.
So I'd say right now, too many hot points, too many berries. So we're gonna toss this one out. You know, remember, free space. You want to work with leaving some stuff to breathe. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this. Yes, 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 I like it. So I'm just gonna add a few more details for my blueberries. You don't have to add that to every blueberry. You know, some of them can just be blue circles. It's totally fine. All right, what do you guys think?
Sure.
I will listen to you as well if you give me some tips to change the design, you guys. So
yeah,
let me know.
Yes, it's perfect.
It's perfect.
My feelings, it's perfect.
So nice. All right, so the reason I put this leaf there is that I kind of felt, so this one already doesn't have a tip, you know, it kind of breaks off here, almost in a straight line. And then this one did the same thing, and I kind of wanted it to point somewhere. Almost like
beautiful.
pointing
Yes.
to, you know, there will be more. Man, it's so difficult to explain reasoning for design decisions sometimes. I mean, it's like, I want the leaf to point somewhere. Yeah, right.
Aber du gibst uns die Gefühl für dich ist Leichtigkeit.
Well, that's the problem, you know, if
Ach so.
yeah, because if it seems too easy for me, then I can't really explain it. Even though, you know, I'm trying to explain it, but that's the whole point. You want to, you want to explain what you do in a way that makes sense. So just saying, oh, you know, this looks good to me, that's why you should do it, that's not helping anyone. You know, you gotta kind of explain why you do things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really tricky sometimes, because a lot of the times I honestly just look at the design and I follow my gut because of experience.
Yeah, experience.
You do this for years. At some point, you don't really have to think about placement so much anymore. Just like when you cook a lot or you bake a lot, you don't have to consult a recipe every single time.
So sure, yes.
You can kind of do certain things even from scratch, just because you've done them so many times. And for me, with design, it's a little bit like that. Also helps to tilt the card a little bit. Oh, now it's terrible.
Was ist terrible?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Terrible.
Ja, nee.
Terrible.
Furchtbar. Geht gar nicht.
Ja.
Aus die Maus.
Was ist terrible bei diesem?
Nothing. It's all good. I was just kidding.
Terrible.
I said you have to tilt the card to look at it from a different angle. Die Karte ein bisschen so bewegen. And then I said, oh, now it's terrible. That would be a typical joke my husband would make, for example.
Ach so.
Yeah. Jetzt kann man es vergessen. Das ist furchtbar.
Sehr schön jetzt. Sehr schön.
Okay, so let's snip off the stem here. If that's not satisfactory, you can just flip over your card, take an X-acto knife, and then just get rid of that little bit.
Very pretty.
So if you feel like you want to send this card to someone, you know, definitely use an envelope, like 100%. You might even want to go back in with some liquid glue, maybe, you know, and just really glue down those edges if you can't get them with a glue stick. You know, in this case, it might just be a little tricky. You can try, but just to make sure the design doesn't come off. I can also recommend to just put something heavy on it overnight, you know, so that the glue really bonds with the paper. So you can do, you can place a piece of baking sheet, you know, something non-sticky, and then just put something heavy on it overnight, and then it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be all glued down. Moni says she can't type right now because her fingers are so sticky.
Pretty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yanka says she actually likes the mixture of the ragged edges with the crisp ones, and I have to say I like it too. I do like it. I wasn't so sure I would because all the other designs have clear lines. But yeah, I like the slightly wonky feel of this a lot. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's put all the card designs next to each other. This is the one I made today. So I always love to kind of do a little comparison of what I did today versus what I did before. So definitely the biggest change for me is that I mixed the straight lines and the ragged lines, and I do like that. It's also different that not all of my berries have details in them. So in all my other cards, I painted every single berry, or I added a little design with every single berry. I kind of like that it's just little blobs here too. And I'm almost, I'm almost tempted to get a jelly roll pen and maybe add some designs here. Why don't we do that? Kind of feel adventurous today. Let's see if this one works.
I like every picture.
Oh, this is silver.
Little bit different.
Nice. But it doesn't work, huh? Sad, very sad.
Every card is pretty. Every card are pretty, or every card is.
It kind of works. I don't know. I guess at a certain angle you can see it. Okay, good enough. So let's try that. So this is what happens to me a lot of the times when I redo a certain design. I just, I guess I want to change it a bit more. And then that's usually when the glitter comes in.
Beautiful.
I do like that. Yeah. It's very subtle though. I'm not sure the camera picks it up.
I like it.
This might even work inside the blueberries. Very, very subtle.
Shimmer.
Shimmer.
Schimmelreiter.
Der Schimmelreiter, ja, der war ein bisschen auf der anderen Seite von Deutschland, aber ja.
It's beautiful. It's silver color.
Yeah,
it's silver.
It's silver, but it's almost translucent. So it's showing up great on the black paper, but not so much on the green watercolor. So the darker your background, the better this type of jelly roll pen shows up. I think if you have an opaque white or gold or silver jelly roll pen, this is gonna look just fabulous.
Very fun. 楽しい.
Yeah, I like it.
Yes, I like it very much.
Okay, so.
Tall.
We all need a taki.
親バカ
True indeed.
いいの。親バカ. I'm very happy. 親バカ.
All right, and Eileen says, instead of drawing the berries leaves on back, you can use a ball-style burnishing tool, very good idea, to mark your cutting lines from the front. It makes a little embossed guide. Yeah, that's such a great idea. So a tool that leaves kind of like like an indentation. Do not use scissors. I'm just kind of showing what Eileen means is pretty much you just draw with your, if you have that embossing tool, and then it's not so much a line as like a ridge, and it's not going to show up much. I think it might show up a little bit if you use scissors like I did. But that's a great idea because then you can really work with the design on, on front, so to speak. You don't have to guess where your design will be if you did it like me. I drew my design on the back of the paper because I didn't really care.
Thank you for your good idea.
Yeah. Or, honestly, I mean, even if you have pencil marks, you can just cut these off. But I think for me, because collage for me is something where I do not want to be too precise, and I do want to play with that surprise of what's going to show up in my design when I turn the paper over. I think it's another reason why I like drawing my design on the back. It's kind of like in the old days when you did photographs on old cameras with film and you thought you knew what's going to happen, but then, you know, the film was returned and sometimes it was a big surprise.
Sometimes big surprise.
Yes. Sometimes we get big surprises.
They feel better.
Very good. That's very good.
So for me, surprise. Big surprise for me.
It's not a surprise. You've been practicing
For
English
myself.
for so long.
Yeah,
very good.
Feel better for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully after years of English class,
I can. My listening is better now.
Very good. Excellent. All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this session. We're going to have another beautiful theme next month in June. It's going to be a totally different color, almost like the opposite color of indigo. I hope you guys are excited. As always, we're going to have one color for the whole month, and then every week we're going to have a prompt. It's not going to be a themed month, so a little bit similar like this month where every prompt was different from the other one. It's going to be the same next month. And do you guys want to know the color? Do you want a hint? Who wants a little hint? I can give you guys a little hint.
Yeah.
Let's see if I have something in the color here. Oh, I do.
I'm
All right.
so big fan.
Here we go. Here we
big
go.
fan. Thank you.
This is gonna be it.
Thank you very much.
All right,
for
you guys.
watching.
I wish you a wonderful start of the week and happy creating as always. If you create something like this, then tag me when you publish it on your Instagram. Tag me at the Aloha Studios. I wish you a wonderful week. Until next time. Bye-bye. Servus.
Bye-bye.
Aloha.
Aloha. Sayonara.
Sayonara. So funny. I can only end the stream. I can't end it. I have to take out my phone first. This is so funny.
Be careful.